Plague Incorporated is a strategy game created in 2012 by Endemic Creations. The game has you control the spread and symptoms of your own custom disease, with the goal of killing everybody on the planet. The challenge comes when the world discovers your disease and starts making a cure. Your job is to balance the infectivity and lethality to meet your goal in the time limit that is made based on the choices you make. Now, Plague Inc. is a strategy game, and it's quite obvious that strategy games can be easily proved to be educational. This video doesn't need to be made because the word strategy game is slapped on the description. However, I don't believe that is completely true. Instead of just stating some things children can learn from playing this game, I will show you why the children need to learn these things. The obvious starting point will be what you need to be thinking about when playing the game, meaning the choices you make that impact the infectivity, severity, and lethality. These just so happen to be the bars that are at the bottom of the screen when you're playing the game. Every choice you make with these three bars will take a lot of planning and strategy. Infectivity is how you spread your disease. You're given many choices in which how you want to spread it. You take advantage of the types of animals and countries, ports of the air and sea, the humidity and temperature, the rich and the poor, and the symptoms that make the disease spread. Every one of the options they give you is only effective in very specific countries. If you want to infect quickly in a country like Canada, you'd have to combat their wealth and cold temperature. To combat wealth, you upgrade drug resistance so the disease is more effective against medicine. To combat the cold, you can choose the ability that literally just combats the cold, or use the pneumonia symptom because it's effective in cold countries. These choices are going to have to be made for every country. You'll be getting the basic knowledge of how the world works. The top and bottom of the globe are cold, while the middle is hot, what we consider the east and west sides of the world. Just simple ideas like this will start to make a lot more sense, and since they're actively interacting with the idea, it will stick in their minds. Infecting people is the first step. It's a setup for the rest of the game. The infectivity teaches us the importance of planning ahead. The choices you make in this stage of the game is going to be one of the most important steps, because if you mess this one up, you have no chance of success. Severity is a weird middle area between infectivity and lethality. It tells us how severe the disease is. That really just sounded like a bad Google definition, didn't it? Severity tells us how severe it is. I'm sorry, I wrote that badly. It's like, define logical, of or according to the rules of logic. It's just like, if you don't know what logical means, you probably don't know what logic is, and if you don't know what logic is, you won't have any idea what logical means, meaning that nobody who looks up this definition will actually know what this means. The important thing to know about severity is that we need to know how we want to control it. When we start getting more severe, the scientists start working harder on a cure. However, more severity usually means more infectivity as well, so we trade a faster cure for more infectivity. If we don't balance our infectivity and severity, the cure will be created before you can reach your goal and you will be defeated. To put it simply, too much of this is bad, but if we get just enough of it, it's good. So we can't have too much, or it's bad. This is the part of the game that makes you think about your actions the most. The situations your choices put you in are nearly unpredictable, meaning you'll have to adapt to the situations that are thrown at you. This whole section of the game is all about balance and adaptation. Lethality is the final variable. When this bar rises, people start dying faster. The challenge that comes with lethality is the fact that you can kill people faster than the disease spreads. If there's nobody infected with the disease, you will immediately lose the game. You're going to need to kill everybody to win the game, so you need to deal with lethality very carefully. When things get lethal, it raises the severity as well. This means when people start dying, the world will work faster to create a cure. You need to juggle all three bars at this point to win the game. You need to make sure infectivity is higher than your lethality until everybody's infected. Don't let the lethality go too high to raise the severity, and let the cure finish before you can raise the lethality and finish the game. You're going to take everything you've done so far and kick it up a notch as the final challenge before you can finish this game. And then, when you've finally finished everything off and successfully destroyed the world, you move on to the next plague type, which will have you do the same thing with a twist, so small but so influential that you will have to use a completely different strategy and balance those three bars in a completely different way. So now you have a very basic idea of how this game works. So we're going to move on to an important piece of what this game teaches us, and that would be geography. When we were going over infectivity, I explained all the choices you're given to spread the disease. All the options require you to have an understanding of basic geography. Because we've already gone over how the game teaches you geography, I'm instead going to talk about why it's important to learn geography, especially at a younger age. Alright, so based on a random website from a random source on the internet, 63% of young Americans can't find Iraq on a map. Is this true? I mean, it is a random source, but it really doesn't matter. Any way we could be teaching our children geography should, at the very least, be taken into consideration. In America, oh my gosh. In America, most public schools will teach you the 7 continents and 5 oceans. However, where they are on a map and what countries contained within them are not touched upon as much. This is a problem because they start teaching the history of places you've never heard of before you know where they are. Knowing your geography will give you a better understanding of the world's history. You'll learn how each country impacted the events that took place in the past based on its location. Outside of school, you'll probably want to know your geography if you ever decide to travel anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new place to live or just taking a vacation, having proper knowledge of basic geography could end up saving you a lot of money in travel expenses. It will help you create the most efficient route to your theoretical destination. Learning our geography also gives us an idea of spatial reasoning. It helps you get into the mindset of knowing what's around you and where you are. These skills come in handy when going into places you've never been to before so you don't get yourself lost. Or, if you get yourself lost, you can easily find your way again. The last thing we're going to talk about would be pretty brief. Plagues. Plagues come in a whole bunch of different shapes and forms, and this game gives you a better understanding of how our world's plagues work. The things we can do to combat them. What is more dangerous to us depending on where we are in the world. The steps we can take to keep ourselves from getting sick. The reality that we need to take care of ourselves and be aware of these things to keep ourselves alive. I personally know many people that have come to me and said that this game made them start washing their hands more frequently. Like with actual soap too. It's amazing. Everything people have said about this game to me has been positive. The only negative comment to note is that some people have said that they've become scared of the possibility that a disease could kill us all at any time. This would be the only reason I say that younger children may not be the ones that should be playing this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, that fear is rational and beneficial to their futures. However, that reality doesn't need to be brought to them until they are in a position to actually be able to use that information constructively. I would recommend this game for children 10 years or older. The younger they are, the more beneficial it can be, but it's a risk and there are alternative methods and games you can use to teach them their geography and time management. However, if they are 10 or older, I would absolutely recommend this game. I want to end this video by telling you all that I personally learned my geography from this game. This game helped me through a lot of struggles I was having with history in high school. I didn't know 90% of the world's geography when I was in my sophomore year of high school. The only reason I ever learned it was by playing this game. If you're having trouble in school with anything that has to do with the subject of the world, I highly recommend playing this game for a few weeks. It's really fun, it's addictive, it's educational, apparently it received an award from the Queen of England. So if this game has ever helped you, I want you to tell me in the comments below. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's benefited from playing this game, and I would love to hear similar stories you guys may have. I also want to give a huge thank you to Pravus Gaming for letting me use his game footage in this video. If you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber who plays a lot of Plague Incorporated, and he's very good at the game. If you want to get a better understanding of how this game works, his channel is the place we recommend you go. We'll have one of our favorite videos from his channel popping up on the screen for you on the top right, and leave a link in the description for you as well. And lastly, if you believe in what I was talking about in this video, I would appreciate if you could share it around. Maybe you have a friend who has kids that love video games and you just discovered a YouTube channel that has a playlist of video games that are educational. Maybe you're trying to convince your parents to buy this game for you, or you could show this to your history teacher so they could use it as a tool to help their students. No matter how it is you support our channel, we appreciate it and we will do our best to make your lives better because of it. Thank you for making it this far in. We have our favorite Pravus Gaming video on our left, and our Why Children Should Play playlist on the right. Have a fun time watching, and hopefully we'll see you around.